Hi guys, welcome to today's conversation. I'm joined here with friends of the house. I'm sure you guys are familiar with these faces. And today's conversation centers around life issues that people often go through and it's being swept under the carpet, particularly in the church. We're talking about divorce. Yes. And I've got some bright minds to help unravel this issue. Guys, what are your thoughts on divorce?
Uh, Before we talk about divorce, let's talk about what brings about divorce.
Yeah.
And what brings about divorce is marriage.
Mm.
Because without the union, there's nothing like separation.
Yeah.
Now, talking about the union first, since we need to go a little bit into the church, we are going to look into the book of Genesis. That's chapter 2.
Yeah.
When we come down to like verse 24, we get to understand that it was Adam that pronounced Eve. He pronounced him. He said, "This is the bone of my bone, and this is the flesh of my what? Of my flesh." And he called her. He gave her the name woman. You understand? So from here, we need to understand that this union was not. In fact, I used to tell people because a lot of people will come and said, "And God gave Adam wife." No, God gave Adam a woman, an assignment.
I think he had a power of choice.
So yeah, so when God gave him the woman, it was then he now decided, okay, fine, this person look like me. Is the bone of my bone, is the flesh of my flesh. Then is a woman. Then there was nowhere in the Bible God called Eve the wife. It was Adam that make Eve his wife.
So, it was the
So
one that
from
said,
there, it
"This
was
is my
the
wife."
one that said, "This is my wife," and from there, it became wife. And if we look further, after the sin in the garden, the fact that woman's mind become closer to man's mind was due to cause. It was cause. He said, "Your heart will always follow your what?
Yeah.
Your cleave to your what?
Your
Your
husband.
husband. That is where your heart will always be.
Yeah.
It belongs to your husband. It's a cause. So that we are together, we need to first of all understand that fact that being together is a cause.
Oh.
But a lot of times we don't always like we said, church don't take it serious.
Yes, of
We
course.
start with when people come to you for marriage counseling.
Counsel.
Now, you tell them, okay, you people meet yourself. Do you like him? I like him. This, that. But do we always tell these people that marriage did not start with wedding ceremony? Wedding ceremony does not mean marriage. Marriage
so much
starts with
deeper than
utterance. Your agreement, you agreed. Your agreement, that is where the marriage starts from. That is why when you see it, when we were young, we were playing with little girls and boys, and we'd be like, "Oh, this is my husband, this man." They will now begin to have toes on your life. Sit down there, you want to sit down there. Go there, you want to go there. Is it because you are married to that person? No. Is it because you had a wedding ceremony? No, it is because there was an agreement. So you want to play your part of the agreement, and you want that person to also play his part of the agreement. And that is how marriage started. Even in the Garden of Eden, that is how it started. So we need to understand marriage before we then go into divorce. Now, when we are now talking about divorce, divorce is another thing entirely.
Yes,
because when the cases of troubles in the marriage begins to flow in, when they left Egypt, the children of Israel.
Yeah.
When it begins to flow in, Moses do not have a chance. The idea of separation was not even from God.
Oh yeah.
When Moses do not have any, it doesn't, when you look at that book of Deuteronomy, it speaks about this very well. It doesn't have any option. Then it was like, no, you know what? You people, I don't think you are going to hear any of my advice. So the best thing is just that when you don't like the woman again, let the woman go. When you don't like the man again, let the man go. You understand?
Yeah.
And that is why Matthew also said it again. Matthew said that because of the hardness of man, that was why Moses made that rule. It was not God's idea for separation. Because God has created us to be together.
Yeah.
Whether we like, that is what I used to tell people. Whether we like it or not, woman will always be with man, man will always be with woman. There is nowhere we can run to.
Yeah.
You understand?
It's already in the design.
That is how God designed it. You understand? But Matthew then go further by saying something. He said, okay, you can now separate. That is why I used to tell people, you know, some version, some Bible, some edition, call it separation. Some edition call it divorce. Some call it divorcement. Now, some edition that call it separation, I always love to key to that. That in biblically, Bible is not talking about divorce. Bible is talking about separation. Because when you look at it, once you are married, according to the Bible, you are not fit for another.
Yes.
Which means that when that person is giving you trouble, you can do away with that person. And when you do away with that person, you will still continue to be that person's wife. And that person will continue to be your husband.
Because you guys are in
because if you, yes, even
That's
with the separation,
separation.
if you go out there and have any other thing to do with any other man, it's a sin of adultery.
Oh, yes.
Even if the man too does the same, it's a sin of adultery. So you must remain as husband and wife. It's just that you just believe that your living together cannot work. So you people just separate. That's separation. So I believe that Bible does not speak about divorce. Bible actually speaks about separation.
So you can separate for a while.
That is it. You can just separate for a while till you resolve whatever is going on
between you guys.
Between you guys, so that by then you can then look like, okay, fine, maybe we are able to resolve it, and if you are not able to resolve it, you can live like that the whole of your lives.
That means you
that means once you are married,
you are married for
locked
life. You
to
can't.
someone.
You are not permitted to.
Now that came from somebody, Matthew, in the New Testament. But in the Old Testament that we are talking about, when we are talking about Moses, he actually said, "Go." You understand? Go. If you know that you are not fit to go. Now, the Bible makes something clear to us. 3 things. 3. The first thing is you can leave your marriage on these 3 bases. Number 1, adultery.
Yes.
Number 2, abandonment. Then number 3 of
If
it.
we know it's violence.
No. Violence.
It's abuse. It's actually violence because we have physical abuse and then we have emotional
abuse,
so
verbal abuse.
So I think you
Any
understand
form of
now.
abuse.
Any form of
So
abuse.
you can live on
So
that.
you can live on those 3 bases. You understand?
Yeah.
So if you think, oh, this guy is going to kill me one day, like the case of this Osinachi,
yes.
you know, you can live. You see, pastors have to be making some things clear.
Exactly, that's what I was about to ask, because there are some pastors, some churches that they already know that this man is violent towards the wife.
Woman.
But yeah, they'll say, keep on keeping on.
Keep on
stay
praying.
in the marriage till the worst happens. What is your advice to?
That is why we used to say this, that don't marry somebody and feel like you are going to change that person. It is not possible. You are not God.
You are supposed to see.
It is only God that changes people.
You can't change anybody.
You cannot change anybody.
It's not possible.
So if you get married to somebody and you be like, oh, it's going to change, it's going to change.
You all know.
At the end of the day, if that person is having mental issue, like maybe you don't know his mental state, because I can tell you that bad temperament is mental issue.
Yes.
Because if somebody can be so angry to the level that he can carry anything and hit it on his wife or the husband,
or embarrass you publicly,
you should know that that person is not, mentally stable.
Yes.
You understand what I'm trying to say now?
God.
So if you now fall in that part and they are telling you to keep on, at the end of the day, won't that person kill you? That is the abuse we are talking
what
about.
if the wife loves the husband loves the wife? Because I've heard of a story, they're not married.
Okay.
I think they are cohabiting together, but they ended up having twins. So the guy was like, this woman used to slap him, is violent towards him, but he's still in the situation
Of that marriage.
of that supposed marriage with the woman. He's not able to move on. I don't know, maybe it's some kind
It's
of
not love,
attachment. I don't
Sometimes
know.
it could be financial problem. You could
You
be
don't
fear of
even-
what people will say. Most times, financial problem.
So how do we
A stable
navigate
woman
that?
will now stay in an abusive marriage. It's not
Sure.
possible. You
Mhm.
can't. You
Maybe
can't
there's
deal with
something
it.
it's
It's
benefiting
purposely
or...
because of financial problems.
Oh.
Go and check it.
Interesting.
So, in that case, whereby you think, okay, there's something you are benefiting in the relationship or in the
marriage,
marriage.
yes.
So, because of that, you don't want to leave the marriage.
Yes.
Or maybe because you believe that you have invested a lot into the marriage. And because of that, you said,
Even
oh,
relationship.
I can't, I don't want to, oh,
I don't
it's my
want to
this, it's
leave.
my that. And at the end of the day,
You will leave
you will definitely leave.
Leave.
If you did not leave naturally, you will leave to the other side.
mentally.
Oh God.
That is it.
I
You
hope
will
you are
die
taking
now.
notes.
Yes,
Once
oh.
you die,
The
you don't.
singles
You,
and the
don't.
married ones, I hope we are taking notes because this is
you will
valid
definitely, because
information.
at the end of the day, what you are running away from is
Will
what
eventually happen. Yes.
will be the event of the
Some
day.
people they are scared of what people will say. I have friends like that. They'll be like, I
Mhm.
can't leave the relationship. I can't leave the marriage. What people say, this and that. You just have to leave.
Hmm.
You have to leave.
At the
No
end of the day,
matter
what will
no
people
matter
say,
what
will
you've
people say?
invested
Mhm.
into
It
that
doesn't really
marriage,
matter.
just leave for you to leave. You have to
Mhm.
leave for you to leave.
Leave for you to
Yes,
That's
leave
it,
for you to leave. That's the point. Leave for you to leave.
Now, for those that have left because they want to leave and they find themselves in a church space, and then there's this stigma
Yes.
that affects divorcees. They be like, oh, this person has divorced, this person is a single mom, this person is divorced, and there's this stigma or stereotype. Like, how do you think that they can live in such environments, particularly in the church? When the pastor is looking at you some type of way because you divorced, how do you think they can, have like that peace of mind, rest of mind, moving around amongst married ones or single ones that think that maybe they did something horrible for them to be divorced?
If they study that book of Matthew, they will get to know that even Matthew made mention something as that verse is going down. It made mention something like this discussion is not for everyone, because they later asked Matthew question after he said everything about divorce and separation or separation. I don't like calling it divorce when it comes to church time. I love using separation. Now, he said something there that this is not for everybody. That is to say, it is not every one of us that is going to marry. It is not every one of us that is going to have a perfect marriage.
Yes.
There's a lot of marriage. Like I used to say this, that when it comes to marriage, love is not enough.
At all. Love
Understanding
is
is
Takes a whole lot.
it-
Even in a
fact,
relationship,
Yes,
that
love
is
is
it.
not
never
enough.
enough.
understanding
Yes.
is everything.
thing.
Because before you go into the marriage, you've already seen the horrible part of this
You've
your
seen
partner.
the red flags.
You
know that
understand?
maybe you can answer
And you
this
now be
yes.
like, that is what they call
Oh, I cannot
understanding.
handle this family.
You're the understanding girlfriend.
That is it, understanding boyfriend,
Friend.
understanding husband.
Man.
Because you already feel like, oh, okay, is a woman beater? Yeah, I can cope with it.
Can cope-
Fine.
Never
It's your
ever
choice.
cope
You will
with
always
woman
be ready
beater.
for the banters. You understand? You will always be ready
Yeah.
for the banters. Do you understand?
Yes.
So the thing is, if you are not ready for it, don't go
Don't dive
into
into
it.
it. Oh, don't dive into it at
Don't.
all.
Don't, because once you go into it,
You are done.
once you go into it, you will meet with those things that you feel like,
Is this my partner?
Jesus Christ.
Is this really my
So I wanted to
partner?
ask, there are some Christians that they are going through a whole lot in their marriage.
Yes.
And they don't want to leave because of societal pressures and hope.
Mhm.
There's a story that I heard in a particular church. The man happens to be gay.
Okay.
So they did
Wow.
their marriage and everything, and then she noticed that on the wedding night when she was supposed to, lose her virginity and also this guy did not touch her. One week went, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, and this guy, she had to escalate the issue, and they were like, no, you need to, stay there because what will people say? So
Yes.
people that caught in this kind of web, how do they,
Number one, I used to say this, that you are not a Christian when you don't understand the scripture. I love to use this Christian because this thing now, this
The
church
Christian
thing, because we have to bring the church into it.
yeah.
You are not a Christian if you don't understand the scripture. it is not about, even for us as a Christian, it is not about what people say, it is about what God says. Number one. So even for you as a person, it is not about what they say. It is about you. Because at the end of the day, everything falls back on you. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay, in a case like that case, it's a very, very interesting case. You understand? The man is gay.
Yeah, the man is gay.
And then the woman did not know they got married. Okay, fine.
It's not evil.
I gave us 3 reasons why a woman can separate from a man. Number 1, adultery. Number 2, abandonment. Number 3, abuse. That number 2 is very, very loud and clear in this case.
But there are some people that are married.
That's abandonment.
Leaving your wife.
Everyone cites an example. There are some people that are married, but they always feel abandoned by their husband. They are providers, yeah, but they feel abandoned
in that area.
In every area, but financially they are doing all right, but they are mostly abandoned.
That happens when you marry a narcissist.
It's like living a separate life.
Yes, when you marry a narcissist.
Or living divorced, maybe being divorced
in your marriage.
That is when you marry a narcissist, like I said. A narcissist is always about him.
Him alone.
You understand?
Or I alone.
And by the time you get into the marriage, you now discover that it is all about him. It doesn't really feel like he has somebody or she has somebody a partner or somebody they can, relate and do things together.
As long as
you understand? So when you feel abandoned in your own marriage, then the next thing is to flee.
Leave.
Because it will definitely push you into doing something worse.
That's true.
Okay, let me
use.
There's this Yoruba saying that a woman always take a concubine because the disturbance is too much. Maybe when the guy keeps on, pressing. That is the reason why woman always take a concubine. You understand? Now, okay, let's now look at it from this side. That after taking the concubine, we've heard a lot of stories whereby concubine will poison the mind of the woman to actually end the husband's life. Now, something leads to that. Abandonment. Because by the time you abandon your wife, when she needed your attention, you are not there. When she needed somebody to talk to, you are not there. When she even needed sex, you are not there. Then she now finds somebody. That person now is now doing what you are supposed to do as a husband. So automatically that person will gain a heart.
True.
And by the time the person gains a heart, the next thing is poisoning it. Okay, because that person now see you, the husband, as a rival.
As a threat.
As a threat.
To that marriage.
It's not to the marriage, to their relationship, to their extramarital affair. So they are now thinking of how can they remove you out of the equation.
You are the disturbance. You are disturbing.
You understand?
Yeah.
So most time this is the reason for most of these things happening. Women taking the life of their husband.
Partners.
You understand?
Yeah.
So abandonment, we must always be careful. You see, these 3 things, if a man or a woman can work on it, there's no reason for
divorce
or
So
separation.
how do you think the church can address issues of separation and divorce, like divorces being inclusive in a church environment?
Now, the first thing first, when we want to deal with a problem, we must deal with the problem from the roots. I've said it earlier and I'll say it again. We need to deal with the problem from the root. The root of the problem is from the marriage, from the beginning. You understand?
Yeah.
They need to first of all understand that marriage is not about wedding ceremony. Marriage is about agreement. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, when they understand the fact that it is that agreement that make them husband and wife, not the ceremony. The ceremony is just for the witnesses. You understand? To see that, okay, now they are now
married
together. You understand? Then, number 2 is that after that, the church must make the bride and the groom understand one thing, that the church does not allow divorce.
or separation.
But separation is allowed in the church. And on this stance, if you abandon your wife, If you commit adultery or you abuse your wife, then we can separate you. Now, let me tell you why these things are. Do you know the reason why we are having a lot of issues?
There shouldn't be any
Do you know the reason why we are having a lot of issues with our ladies or our women getting married to our men abroad? Because the law take its stand abroad. So they already know that if you mess up, me, I will just go in and I'll take half of your property now. But if the church too is making these people understand from the onset that the church can also separate you. That is, we can, yes, we can make your wife stay alone and make you two stay alone, and you will not have the chance to, what is it called? Have sex with any other lady. Any extra, unless you fix it, because you are not fit for another. That is what Christianity is telling us. We are not fit for another marriage, and the idea is not from God. The idea for separation is not from God. It's from us. Even all these teachers in the Bible, they make us understand that the separation, the idea is not from God.
From human.
Because the idea is for us to stay together. But the idea of God liveth still. It does not change. That is why we don't have women planet and man planet. We still stay together. But when it comes to marriage, there must be a rule that guides it, and there must be a penalty. And the church must make them know that there is a penalty. Because if this side wants to stay, this side might want to leave. You understand? And once the sea finishes too much, the next thing is, I'm tired of this house. I'm tired of this man. Because you're already seeing yourself finish. So the next thing is, okay, the church should just come in and say, okay, let's separate them. You stay this way, you stay that way. Let's fix it first. You understand? And it is another thing that the law too, maybe the law too should try shift into that a little bit. Instead of straight divorce, why not give them, okay, let's see how we can fix it. And when they fix it, okay, fine. If it can be fixed, fine. If it cannot be fixed, fine. But once it is of these three things, my sister, you don't need the church to run.
They can file for a divorce in court. At least you wait for 1 or 2 years.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, before
it's not just you just go and
Yes,
even if it's violence or anything,
they will have to see into it
that
first.
1 year, that means you don't have child together, you don't have any issues together. But if you have children together, 2 years, at least 3 years.
But you guys will leave or separately?
Yes, separately before they finalize the divorce.
So for those that are separated or divorced or going through that path, how do you think that they can heal, most especially in a church environment where people can be judgmental?
That question is a very big question. I am telling you, that question is a very big question. Now, let's leave the church out of this first. Let's first of all talk about the environment.
Let's be realistic.
Let's leave the church. Let's talk about the environment now. Okay, fine. You are let me just put it this way. Your marriage is wailing. You understand? Now, as your marriage is wailing, you're thinking of how to fix it. You understand? That alone is a very big problem. You understand? Because there is, apart from what people will say, deep inside your own heart, you are thinking of, okay, am I going to leave this man? We've already gotten married. I've already say I do. You understand? For better, for worse, and all that. You're trying to fix that. Now, you now putting the pressure of what people will say on your head again. Isn't that dumb?
You're killing
No, I am telling them right now, because what you're saying is it's dumb. You already have a problem now that you actually need a solution to. You understand? And the solution is not forthcoming. I am telling you. And what people will say is not going to bring the problem. It's not going to bring the solution. So you are thinking every day that how can I fix my problem? So the first thing first of all, cancel that thing. That's what people will say. First of all, cancel it. Now, focus on fixing it. You understand? How do you now fix it? I always advise separation. Because one of the things that bring more trouble in marriage, see finish. You know, we were not staying together before.
What was this see finish said? So somebody explained to me.
Yeah. Do you know that? Do you know that you have your maybe you're dating somebody now, you're in a relationship. There are some things about you that person is not seeing.
Yes.
A lot of things. You can
The
cut
real
for
you,
you can
like
cut
the
for
real
10
you. When
years.
you get married, you get the real your
You
real
understand?
partner.
Then apart from that, after you get married, man become bossy.
Yes.
Do you know that?
Interesting.
We want to claim the fact that now I am
I'm
your
the
head.
husband.
I'm now pronounced your head. You understand?
Yeah.
And when we were into relationship, he was begging you. He was trying to, he was trying to
Man.
bring you
It was
in.
bringing
You
everyone
understand? It was bringing you in. Once you enter, the next thing it becomes. So it wants you to understand the fact that now I'm the boss. I
Man.
handle everything. I'm the man.
Husband.
You
So
understand?
there's going to
So
be a
there are things
problem.
that you will begin to see. So problems will begin to spring up. You understand? But the first thing first, every woman should know is that when you step into a marriage, the first thing is that your husband become bossy. You don't have to care about it. You understand? Because it's just trying to put itself in its rightful position. So
like
allow him.
position.
You understand? But when all this thing begins to come in like
Then it goes
adultery,
overboard.
abandonment, abuse, then you now need to start fixing it. How do you start fixing it? That is where sometimes prayer comes in. You understand?
Counseling as
You
well.
need
That
to
prayer
pray.
part, a guy is punching,
You
punching,
need to
punching.
pray
you,
because-
you say you want
I
to
don't
pray.
think
But
prayer
I
can
am not-
fix-
I
can
am
fix
not
that,
saying
though. An
this.
abusive partner.
Can prayer fix
This-
No, it can't.
This is not applicable to people that you already know that is
From
a
the
woman
onset.
beater and you enter into the marriage. You
Marriage.
have to, because
or
it's
pray
just like,
because the guy
are you
find
whining
out
God?
that the man
God
is-
will look at you and God will be like,
No,
oh,
no.
you did not see him
Yes,
that he used to
he's an
beat you before you
abusive
go
man.
in.
Well, there are some instances that
The man won't show it, you
never
know.
ever
That is
showed
that is
aspect.
what I'm saying. That when you now see those
But sometimes
idolatry,
the red flags are always there. Even
when it
as
now
a
begins to
the
pop
red
up,
flags are always
when it now
During
begins to
courtship.
spring up in the marriage, then you now begin to pray.
You can't.
Talk to God about
About
it.
being
That's
abused.
number one. You know,
For the
you know-
essence of
You can't
the,
talk to
for
God
those,
You know why?
about an abusive partner,
Eh,
beating you, punching you.
Wait,
You know
for
why?
those watching, please can you tell us the red flags that we should look out for?
Okay.
Or even married ones that are watching, pen it down in the comment section, the red flags that we should look out for, in marriage or in a relationship that, will
Before you go
tell
into
people.
marriage. Yeah.
So,
Okay. First thing I would say, as a single lady or as a married, intending
married woman.
first red flag I would say you should look out for is when, as your partner, like as your man, those people that get angry easily.
Anger issues.
Yes, they have anger. They don't
Oh.
forgive. See,
They don't forgive
if you have a
easily.
partner that does not forgive you, just run. Because we are born to offend each other.
Sure.
But once you have someone that does not forgive, like I can't forgive you, then I think it's a red flag.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, and another thing, if you have a partner that he has to take validation from other people, like please let me tell my friend about this. Wait, let me call my friends.
They
Let me
always
call
love to invite third party.
Yes.
What about
He
third party?
can
Exactly.
not just make that decision. Okay, this is my decision. This is what I want to do. So I think you should look out for that.
I'll be taking notes, guys.
Yes, son. You should take note. He slap you once, he beg you for 12 months. You agree back. If you enter house, the slap will become every
Yes.
month. He slap you, buy you Benz.
Yeah,
He slap you, give you
I've
1
actually
million.
heard of it.
Okay,
I've actually heard
continue.
of a scenario. This one was even in a relationship. So anytime the guy offends, you buy her maybe iPhone.
I have someone like
iPhone,
that too,
or
Sha. I have someone
buy
like
a
that.
car or do something surprising.
Hey.
Guys, don't run.
Red
Please.
flag.
Run, run.
Anyway.
So,
And most importantly, don't date someone. He's not even married now. Don't date someone that doesn't want to work. Yes, they don't want to work. They don't want to have any impact.
They just want to
Anybody you are
live
dating, as long as you guys are maybe for like 3 months you've been dating and you've not seen any improvements in your life, like maybe your business, your work, everything, I think, is a red flag.
It's a red flag. Oh.
Yes.
It's
They're not dishing out any
Negative
value.
He or
energy.
she's not adding any value to your life, any
Right.
value to your life, and most guys now they don't want to work. So please, ladies, I beg you, in the name of God, shine your eyes.
Most guys now
Please,
doesn't
oh,
want to work.
Guys doesn't want to work
I
again.
beg,
They
tell
are
us in the
looking for
comment
red
section.
tape,
Oh,
red
if
tape
guys don't
men.
want to work,
They don't want to
if
work
it is
again.
guys or
Ladies,
ladies,
have
Yes.
your own money.
Have your own money, work.
okay, don't work. It is guy that doesn't want to work.
Any more advice to divorcees or those going through
Yes.
separation in this
Divorcees,
period?
guys,
Yes.
love yourself. That's the first thing.
That's
Love
it.
yourself. See,
Mhm.
when you love yourself,
Self-love.
then you begin to
You never
understand,
go wrong.
because once you leave that marriage, people start coming, different people start coming. Love yourself, like, and be focused. Don't care about what people will say. Since you have your reasons why you left that marriage, you have your own reasons. It's not for any, it's for your own reason, and it's for your own good. And you want to live so that you can live. So love yourself,
Yeah.
yourself,
And don't, because maybe you're going through a financial debacle,
Yes.
you're not going back to what
they will
broke
not
you
beg
in
you.
the
They will not
first
say,
place.
please come
Don't
back.
do
You not
that.
go back. No. Love yourself. And one more thing, have something you are doing as a woman. Yes. Have your own work. Have your own financial strength, or how do I put it?
So nobody can do shakara for you.
That's it.
So, but the most important is that separation is not an idea from God.
Yeah.
God's idea is for man and woman to stick together. Hmm?
Mhm.
But separation is important when
When abandonment,
abandonment,
Abuse.
abuse, and adultery
Adultery.
Yes.
is involved. So please watch out for your partner. Now, adultery can bring about sexually transmitted disease. We
Exactly.
all know that. Then number two, abandonment can bring about adultery,
Fast
which will bring
depression,
about.
self.
Mm-hmm.
So then abuse, physical abuse, slapping, beating, and all
can
that.
even lead to
Emotional
adultery too.
abuse,
It can lead to anything.
It can lead to
saying
anything.
rubbish,
It can lead to death.
saying gibberish, talking to your wife or your husband anyhow.
Mhm.
So if we can fix these three, I think there's no even reason for separation. This is what we should work on.
Yeah.
But the fact remains that it is not God's idea.
Idea.
So God will help us.
So watch before you take that
Please,
step.
oh.
Yeah. This has been a very rich and insightful conversation. If you loved it, please leave your likes and your beautiful comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe on our channel as Faith Spark Up. We love you. Bye. Join us
Bye.
next time in the next conversation.